In this presentation, we will take a look at a method to track tax deductions related to child care within our business file within QuickBooks using a classes method. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here we are on the home page. We currently have the open windows open. We can open the open windows by going to the view drop down and selecting the open windows list. We're now going to enter these transactions into the check register from our bank statement by going to the banking drop down and the use register. Here is our checking account. That's the one we want. Going to open that up. We've been entering the data directly into our checking account from the bank statement, and we will be continuing with this process here. Here is our bank statement. We've been writing just checks, but remember that any type of transaction that, in other words, if we had an e-transaction or an electronic transfer, or if we write checks, if we wrote them out of our checking account, or if they came out of our checking account, the business checking account, then we're going to use them to enter them into our QuickBooks system, and that's how we're tracking this information. Now we're going to keep on moving down here to the Epiphone and then the child care. So we're going to enter some just normal business expenses. Epiphone's going to be a vendor that we buy and sell product inventory, guitars in our case, from. That's going to be a normal, we're going to say business expense. We're not going to get into tracking inventory discussion, but business expense. Then we'll have the child care, which we consciously paid out of our business account, knowing that it's not a business expense, but wanting to be able to track it in our business QuickBooks account because it's easier to do so. And that's the method that we are using here. We'll also enter at least one or two of these: Sunlight Rentals and Verizon phone company, and the rental payments that we make, because that's where we do our work. We rent a place to do work in. These are normal business expenses, in other words. So we're going to do the Epiphone first. This is just a normal business expense, and then we'll do our new item, the Ease Child Care. So we'll go back to our reports. This happened on 3/11. That's March 11th. We're working in the year 2019. So March 11th, 2019. 1028, the check number, and Epiphone should populate for us automatically if we start typing it in, because that's a normal vendor we've used in the past. 5,100. And note that it's the type of account is a cost of goods sold type account. Again, this is kind of dealing with inventory. We're not going to get into that, but just note it's already assigned. It's assigned to an income statement account, and that's what we're going to use as we have done in the past. So we're going to enter that. We don't even need a class. We're going to keep the check number. It has a duplicate. That's okay for now. And then the next item we're going to be doing, going to highlight that and say we've done that, is now the Ease Childcare. So this is somewhere we're going to say this could be daycare, or this could be something like a preschool maybe that could possibly be deducted. Maybe. So it might be something that our tax preparer asked for last year and say, okay, maybe we should start tracking this in a more formal way. And so we're putting this in every time we pay out of the checking account in our business checking account so we can track it. So not a business expense, but one we want to track for personal. So that's going to be our new item. We're going to say, all right, that happened on 3/15, check number 1029. We're going to add this, which is going to be Ease Child Care. That's the daycare facility or whatever. And we're going to say quick add and vendor 125. And then we're going to add the new account, which again, it's personal. So I'm going to label that as we add the new account. I'm going to type this in here. I copied and pasted, but you can type it in there. It's going to be personal deduction for child care. Clearly labeled, not a business expense. We want to make that clear as we enter this information in. We can't see the class, but we can go to the class by going to the splits item. Actually, once I hit splits, it's going to set up because I haven't set the account up. So let's set up the account. That would be nice. It's going to be an expense type account. Personal deduction, childcare, that's what we want. So we will then say save and close, then go to the split so that we can then see the class and add it, being the tax deduction personal class. And then we'll say record, keep the check number again, and then we're going to go to our profit and loss report by classes. By going to the reports drop down, we're going to go down to company and financial, and we're looking for the profit and loss by class. Profit and loss by class, changing the dates from 01/01/19 to 12/31/19, January 1st to December 31st, 2019. And we can see that then our tax class will include the charitable deductions and the new one here, which is the child care, the 125. So it's not, and so we still have to deal with these kind of zeros in the unclassified area, but it does give us a proper profit and loss for the business, and it tracks these deductions for the personal side, and it does it, fairly easily to do that. If we then double click on this item, you'll see that we have our amounts that we just entered. This is charity again. If I double click on this item, then there's the amount we just entered for Ease Childcare. Double clicking on that, there is our check. So I'm going to close this back out, I'm going to go back to our bank statement and cross that out and say that we have done that one. Now I'm going to enter a couple others just to go through some normal transactions. This is our rental company. This is Verizon. So this would just be normal entering data from our bank statement into our checking account. So we'll go back over here, checking account. We're going to say that we paid the rental company on 3/15. 10/31 is the check, and it's called Sunlight Rental. Populates for us automatically because we already have it set up. We're going to say that that's going to be for $1,500. Rental expense, we don't need to assign a class in this case because the unclassified is the default, meaning those are our normal business expenses. So there we have that. And we'll do one more here, that being Verizon, which is a phone company. That's who our phone company is. We pay them for phone services. And therefore, it's going to be into the telephone expense or something similar to that. So that happened on 3/15, 10/35. And we're going to say Verizon, 410 is the amount we paid. Telephone expense, normal expense. We don't need the split column opened up because we don't need to assign a class because it's going to go into the default, which is unclassified. And okay. So we're just entering the normal type of transactions and then just adding these transactions that will be for Ease Rental. And just like with any process, once we set it up, this account is already set up, so the account will be there by default, and that'll make it easier to do in the future. It might be not as easy to not see the classes, meaning the classes, we might miss a class setup. But note that as we go back to the profit and loss by class, it'll be easy for us to say, okay, look, this one is a personal, and if there's an amount in the unclassified area, we could just go right back into it and reclassify it within QuickBooks to the proper class, which will be over here. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.